for the end of last season right up through the summer. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, and on that subject, the thing that kind of annoyed me as well, they've put the price up by £1 in the tickets, and they've not even put a statement out. It's as if we'll just no tell anybody. If you're going to put the prices up, be honest about it. I had a wee look around the Elite League today, and we now have the most expensive ticket. I'll maybe put this online later on. The cheapest seat you can buy in the league for an adult is at Cardiff for £15, and it ranges between 15 and 17 for every other team. Dundee are £17.50 all around the rink, but we're at 17. And I'll put all the stuff. I'll put this stuff on later. Children's and family affairs and stuff like that. But we are now become one of the most expensive tickets to get in the league, and there's been not a whimper about putting the prices up. I think all it takes is to say, we're trying to build a team here. The supply is outstripping, or the demand's outstripping the supply to an extent, so we're going to put the prices up. That's the way it is. And, they've obviously made that decision thinking that that's a business decision. That's fine, just tell fans, don't just snidely do it. And it's like the season ticket scenario, you can't always just give us good news, because you don't always get everything right. So you need to be prepared to apologise and say you're sorting it out, as well as saying, look how wonderful we are, that's something for me that's worthy of the box. Just get the PR right. While we were talking here as well, I have to say, Nikki Coombs has proved me and you to be liars, Graham. She's put up the video, and it was Alec Levitt that had the slap shot, and it hit Rose Hill's face via deflection. So, Nikki, my apologies. I'm sure Graham's apologising.
I'll tweet her an apology later on once we're finished.
I never doubted you, Nikki. Don't say.
Ross Day, the EIHL board, for lack of sponsor or a TV deal. Graham, you could have 20 minutes on your own in that one.
At least. Well, can I just say one quick? I won't bang on about it too much. Just let me say, I've got one nomination, so let me just jump on that straight away. Tony Smith was interviewed, and it was put on social media this week. And after it, a lot of people were weighing in with, this is great to hear from the chairman, good to hear some news and find out what's going on. I found the whole thing utterly depressing, completely depressing. In a nutshell, the league have walked away from a TV deal. I know a little bit about it. I'm not about to start getting into it, and some of it's a little bit, there's some confidences involved with all of this, but I'm still of the position that the league have made an absolute mess of this TV situation, and their preference seems to be to have nothing rather than something. So to me, that's just a nonsense. Now, don't get me wrong, if they come out and all of a sudden announce a special deal online red button BBC thing next week or the week after or whenever, then fair enough. But the information I've got is that that's not happening. We're probably going to have nothing at all this season, which I find just ridiculous. So the TV deal, all sorts of things, lots of talk about looking at stuff still. And I'm thinking to myself, the season started. Why are we still looking at stuff? The goal tech thing, in fairness to the league, there seems to be a couple of arenas, and we think that one of them's Braehead, that for tenancy reasons, there's hold-ups with all of that, so fair enough, that's why the goal tech's not kicked in. And then also the fact that when Tony was talking about DOPS, he was saying that, I think any tough guys coming into this league are probably going to find that this isn't the league for tough guys this season, which I found a bit surprising given that almost every single team has tooled up the tough guys this season. So that's going to be interesting. If that's a sign that DOPS are going to be pretty heavy-handed with some of the treatment that they're going to be dishing out for certain things, then, it's going to be an interesting season ahead. But yeah, I just found the whole thing, there wasn't a lot new. A lot of the stuff was completely inconclusive. The TV deal and a few other bits and pieces were just made no sense to me at all. The basketball thing has got nothing at all to do with hockey. It's a different model. Well, it may be a different model, but it can't be that different. So yeah, I just found the whole thing a bit dispiriting, to be honest with you. So yeah, TV deal, it's a shame. I think the league have blown at this big time this season, and hopefully we'll have better stuff to come.
David Hall and Graham in 7972 both want to put our power play in the penalty box. We've kind of already said that it's early doors. We'll give it a few more games yet before we start completely slaughtering it. I just hope it's not a repeat of next year. That kind of covers everything that people have sent in. I mean, I would like to bring one in. I'd like to bring one in nobody's mentioned. The Dundee Stars on Thursday night. How can they possibly have an exhibition game without a cup or a trophy to win? I mean, what is that all about? So I want to put the Dundee Stars in the penalty box for that. Am I getting any support?
No.
All right, Stephen, if you get anything else.
I'm pretty staunchly in the PR, the clan PR thing, but I could add the IHL into that as well, because like PR as a whole has been a complete disaster the last couple of weeks. And
I'm not, but I would say, like, I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. It just seems to be a lot of daft wee mistakes constantly at the moment. From from the clan and the Elite League. I think the one that you could talk about as well is the Elite League kind of ignored the Challenge Cup games by saying the league didn't start till next week.
Yep.
And I think that was probably a mistake. And then rather than admitting it and saying, "Oh right, okay, we forgot about the Challenge Cup games," I think it was 2 this weekend, 3. They've just kind of stuck to it and went, "Oh, but we meant in the league," you know. And that just, I don't know, it just smacks. Does that mean the Challenge Cup's not important?
Well, I'm taking that as I've said the Challenge Cup isn't important for years, so I'm taking that as confirmation. I'm fine with that.
I kind of agree with you, to be honest, but yeah.
It's not so bad as long as you don't compound the problem then by stating that it appears as if your game's cancelled, which is what Fife did.
Yeah.
Which then resulted in quite a few people tweeting them to say, "Oh, why is the game cancelled? We've made other plans now." So they lost some custom out of it.
But that's the new Fife Flyers media, which is getting their PR going from one extreme to the other as well, isn't it? From being non-existent to trying to be funny, it's not working.
No, absolutely.
Jennifer, if you get anything?
No, I think kind of everything's been covered. But
did you
for
forget
me,
about the clan clackers?
I did. I think the fans did as well. They must have sold about 3. You know?
Sorry, Jennifer, I'm interrupted you.
No, you're fine.
Were you going to have one there?
No. I think the girl who was sat in my season ticket, she had a clan clacker last night, but it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Sounds absolutely horrible.
For £5 for it, I don't know. It seems a bit... I mean, there's an awful lot of people... I spoke about it, and we spoke about it in the podcast last week, about fans getting a wee bit fed up about walking wallets for the club. Every fan of every sports club's a walking wallet. It just feels as if you're getting treated like a walking wallet now, more than ever before, I think. And a lot of people spoke to me over the last week about that after having spoken about it on the podcast, saying, you know, you're right. I don't know. There's a bit of merit in that, definitely. Anything else we've missed? I think we've kind of covered most things, haven't we?
If I can just pick up on the point about the clackers, as you call them, and the money and fans feeling like wallets, the merchandise is bad this season.
Is it still bad? Is there not anything new? I didn't see it last week. And
only had a quick squint last night, but I was struggling. I think I saw some cheap T-shirts that weren't cheap. There seems to be quite a lot of clothing, but again, we're back to a lot of high value stuff. But yeah, just pure range of stuff, nothing that's low value. Again, we're back to this whole pocket money, school stuff for the kids, all that sort of stuff. They could be making a lot of money by selling stuff that people want to buy. And I would suggest that whilst obviously people are going to snap up new merchandise quickly if it's got a clan badge on it, and that's fine, and that's their money and that's their choice, I just think that yet again, for the umpteenth year in a row, the club's missing a trick. And,
to be fair,
same old.
They did have pencils in that there when I had a look last night.
Did they?
In the display cabinet, pencils and rulers and that. They're probably like 16 quid each, but they were there. But,
I'll buy some next week. I promised Andy if they're for sale, I'll buy them. So I'll buy them next week. Not all of them, but I'll buy some.
I was looking at it last night as well because I was absolutely roasting the arena last night. I was just wandering about in a t-shirt. I had my jersey in my bag, but
I just had a horrible picture in my mind there. You wondering about just a t-shirt? Oh dear.
Aye.
Same way Clangus was last night with no shorts.
I could have said a thong as well, but no. I was wearing jeans. I just wanted it in record. I was wearing jeans.
That's a relief.
I went over and it's like, I want a t-shirt, and just the quality of the stuff was just guff. As Graham said, for what you're paying for it, you'd probably get the same quality in Primark in the store. And I don't want to spend that amount of money on it. They've got like a wee purple V-neck jumper with a clan logo on it for 30 quid. Who's going to buy that,
But I think that's not what the point we were making last week and this week again is that people are getting a bit more immune to it and they're not just going to buy any old tat anymore. I don't know.
So, because it's time to send a message. I don't mind spending the 50 or 60 quid or whatever on a jersey, that's fine. I'm going to spend more on a new Maple Leafs jersey this year, as I mentioned this week.
You're not buying a new Clan jersey, no?
I know, I'll get both, but that's what I'm saying. I'm expecting to spend 50, 60 quid on a jersey. That's just the going rate around the league, and so I'm expecting that. But everything else is just mince that I wouldn't spend the money on or even consider spending on.
I don't know, there was a tweet out by Manchester during the week as well, who were tweeting some of their stuff, and it looked pretty decent. I know we're just seeing it in a photograph, but...
Manchester's jerseys are excellent. Manchester's jerseys, I was very impressed.
There was a lot of thought went into those ones.
It was a bit unfortunate they were launched the night before ours.
Yeah.
I think expectations were raised.
I quite like the warm-up jersey.
Yeah, I like
that.
On it.
Yep, absolutely.
I like that. I've been using that header on my Facebook page for ages, and always liked it. And we're doing the GTA stuff this year. I took that idea on board as well, because some of the graphic stuff you get on GTA has got a kind of black and white background of a cityscape. So yeah, and those jerseys are actually, I'm not they're a bit light purple, but if they were a wee bit darker purple, they're probably better than any of the 3 jerseys that we've actually used. So yeah, give credit where it's due.
I think the jerseys looked quite good last night on the actual players. I know that a lot of people were kind of complaining at the launch night that they didn't look very good, but on the players on the ice they actually looked really good. But I think just the girls who modelled them, the jerseys were just far too big for them, and you couldn't quite see.
It could be, but
they're too similar to last year's.
See, when you were watching the Dundee webcast last week, and you were looking at the players from a quite a higher angle, you're looking down at the purple jersey and it looks black, because the majority of the second colour is like got at least about 25% of the body. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It kind of looks black from an upwards angle like that. I have to say, I didn't really like them when they first came out. They've grown on me a wee bit, and I probably will still buy one, because I've got one from every year. I just think they're quite unimaginative. It's just like, there's the template and just fill the colours in. Yeah. We've been a bit moany today, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, it's a penalty box.
Yeah. So what are we putting in the penalty box? I quite like Stephen's PR thing. I quite like that. Anybody else in support of that?
For me, it's a ticket fiasco.
Well, I quite like that as well.
Yeah.
That comes into PR though, because
it kind of does, because they didn't bother trying to fix it, did they?
Yeah. Well, you have to take the ticket fiasco as being the arena's fault, but nobody's going to say that, and the club end up saying nothing. So it is a PR. It is a PR issue. Yeah,
but they can still say we're working with the arena to fix it.
They decide to say nothing,
so it doesn't apportion blame. Because you kind of get the feeling that the club are scared of the arena, and don't want to upset the arena.
Which is understandable. You don't want to fall out with your landlord, but it would be. It does seem a little bit one-sided, that relationship. But I suppose we probably shouldn't even be saying that. But it still comes out in the PR thing. I would go with the PR thing. I'm pretty.
But the PR, which is encompassing everything, like
everything. The club, the EIHL. Fife doing their cancelled game situation,
the season tickets, they get the players' names wrong.
Yeah, the whole PR thing. Everybody's agreeing that this should be the best season yet for the EIHL, with the quality that's on the ice, the quality of the players that's come in. But PR, including no TV deal, there's no shop window. So, and things like your Twitter account, your website. All the PRs that you issue and having your TV, it's all part of the PR package, and it's not very good.
So, Elite League PR is what's going in the box then. Is everybody agreed on that?
Yeah.
Yep. Emphasis on Clan though, because that affects us the most.
Emphasis on Clan. Graham, myself and Jennifer would like to welcome Tina Taylor from the Cats Whiskers Podcast on. How are you doing, Tina?
I'm alright, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Obviously we're playing Nottingham next Saturday night at the Braehead Arena. Face off 7 o'clock, get your tickets. It's a plug for the club as well. You can't be a plug for the club. Tina, you had a game at the weekend there, losing to Coventry 3-1. what's your take on the way, obviously, you know, you've been a few ins and outs, what's your take on the way things are going so far for Nottingham in their preparation for the season? I mean, nobody's going to read very much into a challenge